It's time for the final battle. Oh, sorry. I meant to say, it's time for the final battle with Walter. So, we've obtained pretty much everything in the game, including the item that allows us to open Walter's door. It's a very specific key with a dragon on it, because Walter's very cool. I would like to note before we fight the final battle that I did miss 2 relics, but I don't care because they're both random drops. There's the Crystal Skull, which drops from the Phantom, that makes you invisible, and the Invincible Jar, which makes you invisible, and they drop from Mirage Skeletons. So, with that out of the way, time to open this door. Ah, Leon. I see you've caught me sitting incorrectly in my throne. Let me adjust.
I have been waiting, Leon.
Walter, I will never forgive you.
I see. It seems you have enjoyed the gift that I gave you.
Yes. Thanks to that, I now have the power to defeat you.
Well, that power is quite something.
Yes, the power. It's neat,
But
I guess.
I am beloved by the night. You will taste my powers.
I'll kill you and the knight!
I'll kill the concept of night.
Now the curtain
This is
rises
really gonna
on
fuck up the planet, and I don't know how I'm going to kill the knight on both sides of it. Alright, so, go up to Walter and whip him. Whatcha!
What?
Now there is nothing left to protect you. I'll fulfill my promise to Sarah now!
Not yet. The power of the night
I love how he
is
has to
still
check
full.
behind him.
I shall
The
teach
power
you
of the night is
meaning
a...
of true terror.
Okay, good. Moon's still out. Okay, we're good. Alright, so now we're actually fighting Walter, for real this time. When he floats around and sort of tries to home in on you like that, he's going to punch you. Punches do a lot of damage, though. Honestly, pretty much everything in this fight will do a lot of damage, so that's a little bit redundant to say. He also throws those weird will-o-wisp energy things. Those sort of just go in a direction like that. It's just a straight fire shot. It's not a big deal. His magic attack is 1 meteor that explodes. He also can shoot 3 meteors at a time, and they also explode, but they're not magic. Oh yeah, and they sort of home in on you. Oh, and by the way, when he gets to about half health, you're going to want to back off a little bit. He can create columns of water, but more importantly, once he hits the half damage threshold, he will do this. He's just going to make a big explosion, and trust me, it's not a one-hit kill, but it does hurt. That does like 100-something damage despite the fact that I have good armor. So, yeah, definitely stay out of the explosion. Now that's easier said than done because honestly, if he catches you unaware, it's pretty much impossible to dodge. He can only use it when he teleports near his throne, but if you're not quick, and honestly, like, if you're not already a distance away when he starts doing that attack, it's really difficult to avoid it, like right here. I reacted immediately, and I'm barely gonna get out of there in time. Any slower, and I would have been hit by that. That being said, though, he does like teleporting near his throne a lot, though. That's just luck on my end. Obviously, he can just teleport wherever he wants. But if he teleports near his throne, it's kind of dangerous because, you know, he might be doing his explosion, but he might not be. You can't really tell for sure until he glows red. And again, once he starts glowing red, if you're not already out the back door, you're gonna get exploded. So while he does do a lot of damage at a time, he's not tough. Of course, if you get hit a lot, you're going to be in big trouble, but his attacks aren't bad to learn. And even though I really wasn't playing carefully at all here, I still managed to get out without too much damage on me. Did use a few more potions than I'd like to, but, you know, when you're not playing carefully it happens. And let's finish him off. Come on. There we go. Oh, come on! How dare you!
It can't be. This should not have happened.
Sarah's suffering. And Ronaldo's grief.
Sarah's suffering, but more importantly, my friend Ronaldo.
Your cursed body and perish.
No, the day you crossed Ronaldo was the day you were destined to die.
With my powers, I will surely come back to life. I could not obtain the Crimson Stone. But someday
I'll be back in the sequels, believe me. Huh?
No!
Oh, not a skeleton. Those are gross.
Take your soul!
By the way, hi, Death. How's it going? Hi, it's Death. Goodbye. Bye, Walter. Surprise, it's Death. Eat shit.
I offer to the king who wields the Crimson Stone!
You could call him King Crimson. Egg. Oh, hi, character who hasn't made a physical appearance in this game. How's it going?
Excellent. I never spent a better night.
God, you're so extra.
Matthias?
You didn't disappoint me, Leon. I knew without a doubt that you would accomplish this.
What is the meaning of this?
I needed a powerful vampire soul. That is all.
Are you saying you used me?
Not just you. Your betrothed, Sarah, Ronaldo, and Walter.
You crossed Ronaldo! Matthias, you've gone too far!
I never thought it would go so well, though.
Point! Hey, hold on a sec. It's that bitch!
Ah, you know it. I'm impressed. I made Walter's soul mine with the power of this stone.
I sense a rage from this whip. Matthias. You abandoned
Matthias, what the
humanity?
fuck?
That's right.
Point.
By becoming a vampire, I obtained eternal life. That was my goal. It was my revenge against God.
Revenge against God.
Revenge against God.
Have risked our lives and fought for the sake of God.
Matthias is extra in both design and just everything else. Everything.
When all I ever wished for was Elizabetha's safety. If limited life is God's decree, then I shall defy it.
You hear that, God? You ain't shit.
I shall conquer him.
I'm calling you out, God. What are you gonna do about that? Nothing. That's what. Oh my god. I love this cutscene so much.
You should know.
Yes.
You should know what it means to lose a loved one. You know, I lost a loved one from disease. you lost a loved one in my machinations.
I will give you
Her death was entirely preventable, but you get me, right?
Wretched fool.
what?
How Why would you say that, Leon, old buddy? I thought you'd be with me.
Elizabeth,
Leon, you should be happy I killed your wife.
she was concerned only for me to the very end. That is why I hate him.
Him capitalized, 'cause I'm talking about God.
Walter, with hatred in your heart too.
Yes, I'd be lying if I claimed otherwise. But defeating him... No. Preventing us from suffering the
I love
same
just
cursed fate.
his body language is so good. He's just reasoning all this out. Hell, hold on a sec, Matthias. Gotta come up with a reason why this whole thing's bullshit.
Prove my love
Gotta
to
carefully construct this argument about why you're a dumbass.
Sarah. Without her, would be nothing but emptiness.
I mean, if you had made us both vampires, I'd honestly be down with it, but like, Matthias, my dude, this plan sucks.
Dawn is coming. Farewell, Leon. Death?
Do him parts. I'm about now. Scree scree. Goodbye, Leon. The most brilliant man of 1094. In fairness, he's literate, which is impressive, but doesn't exactly mean he's smart. Just means he figured out how to read. No, I didn't want to end up in this weird dimension. How dare you, Death? I was going to chase after my friend who turned into a bat. Like, with me being on foot. Anyway, final boss time. It's Death. Death's kind of annoying. First things first, you'll see why later, but you can't use sub-weapons on him. Second off, these guys. When Death shouts, "Minions!" Then a bunch of weird skull lanterns will just start following you around and explode eventually. Whenever he creates a scythe, you're going to want to leap to the other side he's creating it. If you're far away from Death when he creates it, you should jump over it instead, but if you jump when you're close to him, then it will end up hitting you, so either go left or right depending on where he's holding the scythe up. You also have homing shots from Death as well. They're a little harder to dodge than Walter's homing shots. Basically, you're going to want to wait pretty much until the last second to actually get out of the way, so bit of a test of your timing there. You can't dodge willy-nilly. Also, you're going to want to be careful with your dodges in general, because sometimes when trying to get away from Death's tiki torches, you'll just end up rubbing against the side of the arena. Oop. But yeah, you don't want to get stuck, so if he summons minions, which, he will. I don't know about anyone else, but in my experience, Death really liked his minion attack. He liked it a lot. Far too much, one might say. Also, he has a Scythe Sweep attack, which is his least threatening attack, because he indicates it pretty well, like right there. Eventually he'll start doing 2 swipes, so look out for that, but it's even easier to dodge the second one, provided you know he's going to do it, so once he starts doing it, you can dodge the second one. Trust me on this one, I believe in you. You just have to hang back for 1 more second. Anyway, yeah, the way they spread out, that's why you want to dodge it last second. Otherwise, that is gonna get you. It's one of the harder attacks to dodge, though admittedly I did have some problems dodging the Scythe Throw attack. Death can be a little bit difficult. As you might have noticed, he's got a lot of defense, and he does do a fair chunk of damage. His attacks, they're not terrible to dodge, but honestly, I feel like the minion attack is the worst one. It's really easy to dodge, sure, and, like, you know when he's doing it. He shouts, "Minions!" Oh, and here's his final attack, in which he launches 2 beams of fire into the air. They come crashing down, and basically just create shockwaves out of them. They come far enough apart where, provided you jump over one, it doesn't make the timing of the second one hard. Like right there. If they came a little closer together, that would be difficult, because then you'd have to dodge 2 different shock waves coming at you from different angles, but as it stands, you just have to make sure... Oop, that one was actually pretty close, though. It also depends on positioning, I suppose I should add. Now, the nice thing is, though, that attack, of course, does do a fair bit of damage, sure. However, once you get decent at dodging it, that's the attack he'll start using a lot after his half HP threshold. And quite frankly, it wastes so much less time than minions! So, you know, I will actually take this, even though it's a lot more punishing for missing. And wow, I almost got hit there. Wow. Good job, past me, didn't take advice. Good. Anyway, yeah, I believe I showed it off earlier, but, sub-weapons. If you try to hit him with them, he has a shield for those. And it'll just kind of blow you back. Some of the sub-weapons are pretty broken, so I get why they'd want to defend the final boss against them, but whatever. Death is dead now.
I have the power to destroy all related to the vampires.
Anything that's vampire... Anything that's vampire-like. I mean, you're the concept of death given form, but I don't know, you could probably be traced back to a vampire, so fuck you.
See, give him this message. You have become a cursed being, and I will never forgive you.
All of Leon's mannerisms make me so happy. I love the way he walks.
From this day on, the Belmont clan will hunt the night.
Well, we made death explode. No one can die now. Action, roll! Here we go! Alright, so I'm glad we have a shot of him running out of every room in the castle. Otherwise, how could I be sure he was really making his escape?
So, he did it.
I was really hoping the final shot of the game would be on Ronaldo, honestly. I mean, I know Leon Belmont's going to survive. He's a Belmont. If he died, the rest of Castlevania wouldn't happen. And I'd really want the game to just end on Ronaldo. So, that's Castlevania Lament of Innocence. So, as far as beat-em-ups go, Lament of Innocence is kind of middle of the road. Beat-em-ups generally live on and die on how well they can vary up the enemies and, like, how interesting they can make enemies and, like, enemy combinations. And while Lament of Innocence starts pretty interesting, later areas in the game have kind of stale enemies, and none of them really felt like they were much stronger as encounters, you know, together. Like, I can't really think of any enemy combinations that stick out in my mind as being, like, super difficult. So, while the main mechanics themselves are pretty fun, I don't think it quite has the enemy design to back it up. It's certainly not the worst beat 'em up though. Like, bad beat 'em ups have like one type of enemy that just punch. So, Lament of Innocence does better than that. Enemies do have some feasible aspects to them. You know, they have specific attacks that are fairly unique. And, you know, there are certain attributes that make this enemy more powerful or make this one more memorable, like the Dualahans. Honestly, Dualahans should have been used a lot more in the final area because of just how much they made you rely on being better with your dodges, because they do not flinch. They don't have a lot of HP, but you can't just hit them repeatedly and expect them to die before they get an attack off on you. So they force you to be really careful, but they're so underutilized. Settings, though, are pretty good. I thought that the different sections of the castle all felt pretty different. Good music as well. I know I didn't bring that up much during the playthrough, but the music is really good, and I like how it's actually varied between floors. And also, you know, aesthetic-wise, different floors did actually indicate a lot of times, like, a change in aesthetics, which is another reason I think that stands out. I think what really makes me love Lament of Innocence, though, is just the story. God. The voice acting isn't, like, quite bad, but it is sort of in that campy region that is just a constant delight, even though it's kinda silly. So, with that being said, these credits are short, so I'm going to keep my final thoughts short. I've been Fefner. This has been Castlevania Lament of Innocence. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time for whatever I do next.
And so the story of the Belmont clan's struggle against evil begins. However, Matthias and the Belmonts will not meet again for hundreds of years. Matthias goes into hiding in foreign lands and continues to curse God for eternity.
I love that he continues to curse God for eternity.
Lord of the vampires,
Just every day, Matthias walks out of his house, shakes his fist at the heavens, and leaves.
Slowly and quietly.
Anyway, all this is to say that Matthias will murder Vladimir Drakul III and take his place, and then put some people on poles.
Escape.
Are you the legendary monster that turns people to stone?